Filipino values and the many faces of the Filipino. We cannot deny the fact that nobody is perfect. All human beings possess strengths and weaknesses. Many of our strong points are also the source of our limitations. We are social beings and we have to interact with one another since we are person oriented. Our family orientation is the source of our strengths and weaknesses. It gives us sense of rootedness and security, both very essential to any form of reaching out to others. Our flexibility, adaptability, and creativity are our strengths that allows to adjust to any kind of environment and to make the best circumstances. Our sense of joy and humor serves us well in ups and downs of our lives. It makes life more pleasant, but serious problems need also serious analysis, and humor can be destructive. Our faith in God are sources of strength and courage, and also need to become passive external forces. Strengths of the Filipino character. First, pakikipagtao or regards for others. This manifested in basic sense of justice and fairness. Ability to emphasize with others helpfulness and generosity in times of need. Pakikiramay is the practice of bayanihan or mutual assistance in the famous hospitality and in concern for others. Family orientation. This pertains to concern for the family which is manifested in the honor and respect for parents and elders. This is further manifested in the care given to children and up to the extent of extended family where married children still reside in their parents' house. This sense of family orientation results in a feeling of belongingness and rootedness in basic sense of security. Joy and humor. Filipinos by nature are fond of social celebrations. We inherited this character from the Spaniards. We have a positive attitude to our ups and downs in our life because despite of the odds, we still have the capacity to laugh even at the most trying times, and laughing is an important coping mechanism. Hard work and industry. This pertains to the desire to raise one's standard of living by working very hard, given proper conditions, and to possess the essential of a decent life for their loved ones. This is manifested by their courage to go to abroad and take risks, or even work at 2 or 3 jobs. And religiosity. Filipinos are noted for deep faith in God because of the belief of life after death. Their ultimate goal is to go to heaven, and they are afraid of the ball of fire, or otherwise known as hell. The Filipinos' faith results in courage, daring, optimism, inner peace, as well as the capacity to genuinely accept tragedy and death. To survive. We are known for our ability to survive despite the economic difficulties we are encountering. Filipinos make the most with whatever is available in the environment. This is a survival instinct of the Filipinos which is related to basic optimism, flexibility, and adaptability. Of the Filipino character. Extreme personalism, extreme family-centeredness, lack of discipline, passivity and lack of initiative, colonial mentality, kanya-kanya syndrome, lack of self-analysis and self-reflection, Filipino indolence, manana habit, the fiesta syndrome, and last, hospitality. Extreme personalism. This extreme personalism is manifested in the tendency to give personal interpretations to actions, example, pakiusap or request, lagay and regalo, fixing, palakasan, power and influence, nepotism and favoritism, and to take things personally. Family-centeredness. While it's true that concern for the family is one of the strengths or greatest strengths in the extreme, it's because it's a serious flaw. Example, the use of one's office and power agents of promoting the interests of the family members in functionalism, patronage, and political dynasties, and in the protection of the family members. Excessive concern for the family could determine to the common good and acts as a block to national consciousness. Discipline. The lack of discipline is manifested in relaxed attitude towards time tag as the Filipino time and space, which in itself is lack of precision in compulsive and in poor time management and delays of work and in procrastination. Passivity and lack of initiative. Filipinos are generally passive and if initiative. One has to be told, one has to be done. This is related to a hammer. Filipinos need for a strong authority figure and feel safer and more secure of things that they are going to do come from the instruction of the superior. Colonial mentality. This pertains to the openness of the Filipinos to the outside, adopting and incorporating the foreign elements into our acceptance of modern mass culture, which is often Western. Kanya-kanya syndrome. Filipinos have a selfish, self-serving attitude that generates a feeling of envy and competitiveness towards others. The kanya-kanya syndrome is an offshoot of crab mentality. Filipinos with crab mentality do not seem to be happy when someone becomes successful and tends to pull them down. Example is when abroad a fellow Filipino is doing well, so this person will try to destroy him by spreading nasty things which are not true at all. Lack of self-analysis. While they are proud of their sense of humor, they sometimes forget that there are things that should be taken seriously. When things went wrong, they are more willing to blame others rather than asking what they did wrong. Filipino indolence. The Filipino were called by the Spaniards as an indolent, which means lazy and lack of initiative and ambition. But Rizal refuted this negative description and explained the reasons that it's unhealthy to work in the Philippines in hot climate. The industries during Spaniards' era proved that they were not lazy but instead the invaders forced labor and closed down the industries. The Spaniards are who's the one who taught gambling Filipinos, and the Filipinos were discriminated and discouraged to pursue their studies. Manana habit. Manana habit is a negative attitude was inherited from the Spaniards. This means putting off for tomorrow what can be done today or procrastination. It has element of fatalism and is linked with bahala na attitude. The Fiesta Syndrome. This is still being celebrated in rural areas. Filipinos celebrated so many occasions like feasts, patron saints of their place, birthdays, baptismal, and confirmation of their child, marriage, and anniversaries, and etc. Hospitality. The Filipino are very much well known for hospitality. The visitors are welcomed warmly with full of enthusiasm. They are offered the best food and even to the extent of depriving themselves just only to please their visitors. Why self-awareness is important in learning? Self-awareness is important because it provides students insight into who they are, why they react as they do, and gives them a direction of self-improvement. Self-awareness for students is crucial for success. Self-aware people have a fundamental belief in their ability to achieve a goal, and this trait helps students thrive in everything they do. It is also important to study the Filipino values in the Philippines because it is in need more fun in the Philippines from historic era revolution to world country exclusive paradise islands, countless talent in fashion, entertainment, art, and like boxing champions wrecking Twitter world, Filipino people stood the test of time, test of nature, and the test of innovation. Values are important and lasting beliefs of a culture about what is good or bad, desirable and undesirable. Traits, on the other hand, are component of a person's behavior that is assumed to serve as an explanation of his or her characteristics. Values and traits are correlated with each other. This too has major influence on a person's behavior and attitude, and it serves as guidelines in our everyday life.